Hey, welcome back to Boss Up with Mr. Key. Andre Key, your host here, Real Estate Edition. Typically, Boss Up with Mr. Key talks to entrepreneurs, but I've had a lot on my chest as far as the real estate market is concerned. And so I wanted to project and give some information. And again, if you heard this episode number 17, we talked about the importance of building contacts, building a database for new agents. I wanted to talk today about what can help you build it, yes, and then what you do with it. So one of the things I want to talk about is learning how to build the database more effectively. Again, I talked about scripts on episode 17. You need to dive into some scripts. You need to know how to talk to people. Now, if you're a salesperson, when you take your real estate exam, it calls you a salesperson. You have your salesperson's license. So as a salesperson, you have to know the fundamentals of selling. Oh, people like me. People always listen, or people always talk to me about their problems. Yeah, that's good, but you need to have a way in order to talk to people and communicate to people and have an objective in mind where, hey, I just educated them, or hey, I just, talk to them in a way where they'd like to hear from me again. You have to understand how to earn the right to be able to get a person's information and have the permission to reach out to them. We don't want you soliciting people. We don't want you calling people all the time and just talking about real estate either. So there's different scripts that you have to put in place so you can know what to say. Even if it's just a natural conversation, you may want to always keep in your head that, hey, somehow in the conversation, I want them to know that I do real estate. Maybe you don't pull the trigger all the time and do it, but somehow, some way, you need to understand that there are scripts that'll help you articulate that if you're just not naturally comfortable with talking to certain things. So scripts are important. It'll help you build your database. It'll help you talk to the people once you have the database built. So I wanted to point that out. But also, now that you have a database, what are you going to do? You need to stay top of mind. Many agents, many clients, many home buyers and sellers use a different agent the very next time they do a transaction. It's over 50% of clients that do a real estate transaction call another agent or talk to another agent when it's time to do their second, even third transaction. So you got this database that you've invested in, you sowed a seed into, but if you're not staying top of mind, guess what? They will pick up the phone. They will get introduced to somebody else. They will use another agent. And then that's just a lost contact. So again, you want to be able to reach out in a multitude of ways. Again, cast a wide net. You want to call these people. At this point, if you're building a database, you're making some money. Money management is another part for new agents, but that's another podcast. If you're making some money, if you're touching people and you're making your contacts, you're making money at this point. So not only do you want to stay in touch with these people on the phone, maybe you want to send some mailers, maybe you want to send something out via social media to them, maybe you want to throw a party. Maybe you want to throw a customer or client appreciation party. Maybe you want to do something that'll send them some information about their property. Hey, your property is worth this month. So you want to provide value to these people in the form of some information, and the information clearly showing that it comes from you. If you even know more about your database, like birthdays and holidays that they celebrate, maybe you send them something during those times as well. So it's important to cultivate the database once you have it and keep yourself top of mind. Why do you want to keep yourself top of mind again? Just for people who are still kind of confused, like, hey, they're in my database. They know me. I mean, after being an agent for several years, like, people may not remember you. And again, somebody else is making contacts and they contacted your person, you know, go and make a phone call. You know what I used to do? I used to just call people, talk to them, you know, find out how they were doing. Like, I didn't really want to talk about I didn't want them to, you know, I used to call them in the beginning. Hey, are you looking to buy and sell? Like, you know, no, those aren't people that you want to make into your sphere. Like, they won't feel like they're connected to you that way. So I call, hey, man, how are the kids? Like, I want to know what's going on. How is the family? And right away, they already know, like, from me, years of programming, well, just having stuff that goes to their house in the form of mail or stuff that they see on social media or emails that I send them or phone calls from people on my staff. They already know when they hear from me, they're thinking like, oh, what's going on with real estate? I don't even talk to them about it. They usually ask me and then I talk to them, but I don't go right in. But again, that takes time to build it if you manage a database. But you also have to get used to asking, if it's not to the point where people even remember that you're an agent and you're following up in your database, why not just say, hey, those famous words, who do you know? Hey, we talked, we reminisced about high school. I remember the time we both got suspended, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. All right, I got to get ready to go. By the way, before I let you go, who do you know that may need help with a real estate transaction? Those words are powerful because now you get a referral. A referral are the best people to add to your database because they're already coming with a level of trust from someone else. Like, hey, I mean, it's different than your mom saying, hey, try my son or daughter, they're a great agent. No, this is that other person's peer or somebody that they've encountered that, trust them enough to take information from them, or else they would have been like, nah, I don't, it could have been like, man, I need to move. I want to buy a house. Oh, yeah. So you always ask, who do they know? That's a powerful question. I mean, people may get tired of it. It just depends on how often you reach out to your database. If you're talking to them once a week or once a month, or what, if it's not as frequent that you're having a voice to voice, you can say, who do you know? But if you talk to them every day, like if they're in your immediate circle, like that's kind of like the unsaid thing. I mean, it just depends on the relationship. You can ask that question every time if it's your best friend. Hey, dude, you haven't referred me anybody. Who do you know? We've been friends for 7 years. You never told me one person that you knew that was looking to buy or sell. How are you my friend? Who do you know? So, again, scripts. Learning how to have these conversations about who you are as a professional. Touching your database. Marketing to your database. Branding yourself to your database. Picking up the phone and reaching out and asking for referrals. Don't be afraid to ask. Ask and you shall receive is what they say. And it has some credence to it. So, again, that's part 2 on what to do once you have a database. I don't want to bore you. Eventually I want to get some Q&A. So please make comments, communicate with us, subscribe, like, anything that you want to know about. I want to share with you. Again, I feel like I'm an expert, but I'm not a know-it-all. But come with your information and questions. Talk to Andre Key. In the meanwhile, continue to boss yourself up and boss your business up. And it's a wrap.